Story 1. Work on their mental health. It affects your dating success. It affects your financial success. More motivation and more positive about your chances of succeeding equals results. It even affects whether you pick the good products at the grocery store. You feel worthy of it. Story 2. Be a good person. Treat people right. That is how one truly achieves immortality, because of the legacy you leave and the memories you leave with people. Story 3. Learn to fight for yourself. Sometimes our hopes and dreams falter, and we have to realize we are important too. If you are your best self, you can help those around you much more. Story 4. Love. Genuinely open your heart to other people. I recently started taking this more seriously as a Christian, and it shocked me how powerful this is. It's the one thing that will always be worth it. Story 5. Hello, babies. Welcome to Earth. It's hot in the summer and cold in the winter. It's round and wet and crowded. On the outside, babies, you've got 100 years here. There's only one rule that I know of, babies. God damn it, you've got to be kind. Quote Vonnegut. Story 6. Just don't be a jerk. You don't even need to help others or do charity work or any of that other stuff. It's much better to do absolutely nothing than to do something that's going to ruin someone's day or needlessly upset someone. Story 7. Defining your own definition of important and going for it, or disregarding the need to be seen as important by yourself and others. The middle ground is where people get stuck. The idea of being important is completely subjective, as demonstrated by the many different answers in this post. No matter what you do or how important people think you are, others will hate you, and most will not even know who you are. Story 8. Just try to make the place a little better than you found it. Help someone. Maybe changing someone's life doesn't have to be significant, but if they are inspired and pass it on, exponentially better things happen. Story 9. When you do things, do them fully. Do not do things halfway. Commit, show up, engage. Do not half-heartedly participate while on your phone. Having something done right the first time is incredibly rewarding, even when it is a lot of work. Story 10. Do good deeds, even if it means not getting rewarded for it. Just make a positive change in someone's life. Actually, this is something I have learned from an animated series. Story 11. Really depends on the type of person you are, to be honest. For some, it is becoming a parent. For others, it is innovation or creativity. Choose your own adventure. Story 12. Do not stress over things that you have no control over, especially in the workplace. It has been 6 months since I applied this, and my life and mental health have been so much better for it. Story 13. Personally, I find breathing kind of helpful. Aside from that, accept that people are all different and appreciate their differences the same way you appreciate their similarities. Also, remember they are all human, and you don't get to decide or enforce things on or for them for your own gain. Never underestimate the damage you can cause by creating what you see as minor issues. Story 14. Find someone who loves you and love them back. Of course, that's nothing I've ever achieved, but it has to be it. These dreams shake me up more than any nightmare, these love dreams, and then waking up. Story 15. Take an active role in shaping it. Don't sit around being passive, choosing the path of least resistance every time it shows. Make some choices and sacrifices and actually build a life and routine that suits you. Story 16. There is no one thing that a person can do in their life that is the most important thing to do. Each life is different, and each response, as you can see, will be based on that person's perspective. As well, this one thing will likely change over time as the person ages, learns, and is exposed to more things in life. A better question would be, what is the most important thing to you right now? Story 17. This is probably more of a generational issue, but at least for me and a lot of people I know, putting the phone down and really sitting down and dedicating the time and attention to something meaningful is challenging. I struggle with this still. Story 18. Get educated. Maybe a university, maybe a college, maybe a trade school, maybe just learning on the job, but learn something to make yourself valuable. Story 19. If starting a family is important to you, choosing the right person is absolutely crucial. I've seen firsthand how choosing a bad partner to have kids with can ruin you for life, financially, mentally, and in terms of general well-being. It also negatively affects the kids, and that's heartbreaking. It just creates more generational trauma, potentially worse than the previous generation in some cases. Story 20. Raise your value by accumulating small wins in life. Always do something that your future self will be grateful for. Do it scared, do it tired, do it confused, do it broke, do it alone. Just do it. Story 21. For me personally, it is having a passion project met with skepticism that became a vocation and ultimately generated multigenerational wealth. So many skeptics, lots of layering by more accomplished, educated, experienced professionals, all of whom I ultimately usurped or replaced. My own private Shawshank Redemption. It was not easy working over 80 hours a week for more than 20 years, but there is not a better feeling on the other side. Story 22. This movie, The Cave, is about an underground hospital in Syria during the peak of the conflict. Two doctors in absolute hell with no resources, facing conditions not for the faint of heart. They say the purpose of life is to help others and to aid those suffering. I couldn't agree more. Story 23. Every night I ask myself if I fought the good fight. I think that's up there. The fighting the good fight, not the asking. Though I guess that's important too. Story 24. Get to know yourself. Know your likes, dislikes, and loves, things that create happiness for you, things that cause anxiety. That way, your decision-making is wise, and your time is as enjoyable as possible with whomever you choose, even if you're alone. Alone doesn't have to be lonely. Story 25. Get enough sleep. Sounds simple, but the rest seems to fall into place after that. If you are not sleeping enough, it is probably because you have still got stuff to work on. Story 26. The most important thing is to build meaningful connections, grow through challenges, and find purpose in what you do, all while staying true to yourself. Story 27. Be the first person to comment on something online, or so it seems. Try your best. Have fun. Take care of your crew. You define how wide of a circle this entails. Story 28. Teach someone younger than them. Not literally as a teacher, but by giving someone advice or guidance and helping them avoid the mistakes you made in life. Story 29. Give. We always take so much and many times disproportionately to what we give. So many people out there are in need, and some of us have way more than we need. It's easy to not see it. Story 30. Someone much older than me once told me that there are 3 things you need to do to be happy in life. Graduate from college, get married, and have kids. He then added, the trick is to do them in that order. I'm not sure it's all that true today, but that always stuck with me for whatever reason. Story 31. Learn who you are, not the person you want to be or the person you think you are, but who you really are. Once you learn that, you can start to adjust your life to those things to become the person you want to be. Example. I am someone who never puts my scissors back where they are meant to go. So instead of having one drawer for scissors in the house, I put a pair in every room. Now I put them away because they're closer. Stupid example, but it works for big stuff too. Failing university classes is how I learned that even in the face of failure, I don't give up. Knowing that has helped me be less scared of failure overall. Story 32. Carve their name in a public picnic table, burn scorch marks in bus shelter plexiglass, and, of course, leave several anonymous to the person who add random minor slight. Posts on Reddit and other platforms. Story 33. Enjoy it. The whole meaning of life is to enjoy the passing of time. That is what we all live for. We might never see tomorrow, but we can enjoy today. This is much easier said than done, though, as life has been made miserable for many. Story 34. Find happiness. Your own true happiness. Despite maybe feeling guilty about it making others upset, jealous, or being against it. We live and breathe for ourselves, so we must make sure we are happy before trying to make others happy. Story 35. Develop good habits. Develop discipline. Read a lot of books. Be responsible. Be dependable and be the kind of friend you want others to be. Be responsible for someone other than yourself. Do all you can to become competent and successful no matter what you do. Exercise often. Story 36. So many answers, but I am going with a simple one I try to implement daily. Try to leave the world a better place, however that works for you. The level of effort invested is entirely up to you and can change daily. Story 37. Definitely everything like working on mental health and being okay with being you, working on yourself. But if you don't stand for anything or won't protect your family, I don't have much respect for you. Story 38. Set a proper and healthy daily routine and, most importantly, stick with it. This way, we can have time for everything, balance everything from our personal to professional lives, and stay healthy mentally and physically. Story 39. The most important thing is to live your life, not the way someone mentioned it or the way it is written in a book, because life is not the same for everyone. You don't need to fall prey to some unattainable level of living. Nowadays, most people see on Instagram their idols living a lavish life and feel the urge to attain that. Even if it is attainable, it doesn't mean that you will be happy at that time. A person must be happy now in their current condition. Don't say that you will be when you get to that point. It's nonsense. If you want to attain that, then for sure go do your work, but don't postpone your happiness until that moment. Story 40. Be present and take risks. I'm not saying rob a bank, but definitely don't shy away from opportunities that present themselves out of fear or apprehension. You never expect the unexpected, but look forward to it, I guess, is what I'm saying. Story 41. Being a generally good person, using manners, and treating normal people who serve you every single day with respect goes a long way. I hope it does anyway. Story 42. I think the most important thing a person can do is figure out what actually matters to them, what brings joy, fulfillment, and peace. It's easy to get distracted by what everyone else expects or by chasing things that don't really satisfy. But when you focus on being genuine, treating people with kindness, and doing things that align with who you are, everything else seems to follow. Oh, and making time for the people who truly matter doesn't hurt either. Life's way too short to spend it doing stuff that doesn't make you feel alive. Just keep it real. Story 43. Living life unapologetically. Learning to speak up for yourself and having people who will fight for you is important. You cannot be a people pleaser. What people think will not matter when you die and regret not experiencing life to the fullest. Buy that bag, eat food, and listen to music when it is loud. Do not hold yourself back because you are worried about what strangers will think. Be the best version of yourself and never regret anything in life. Story 44. A few other people have already said helping others, but I want to add to that and say donating blood. It only takes a bit out of your day, and you will feel accomplished knowing it is going to someone who needs it. Story 45. The most important thing a person can do is to live authentically, stay kind to others, and create moments that bring genuine happiness to themselves and those around them. Story 46. Help others to survive through their lives, then to find balance and even to thrive, regardless of what you may think of them. I'd say to look out for yourself, but that foundationally isn't how it seems to work. We come into this world as infants incapable of doing anything ourselves, just wanting some love and attention. It has to be how we've made it this far as a species, caring that one another survives despite extra-social nonsense. So help others survive, because the empathy you have for others will give you purpose and can be redirected at yourself as needed anyway. Story 47. Working out. The older you get, the more your body will let you down. The secret to keeping up an active lifestyle is to strengthen your body before it's too late. There are tons of benefits, a very underrated investment. Story 48. Find a wife, husband, and friends who are characterized by loyalty and generosity. They encourage you when it's bad, support you in every hard situation, and are proud and happy for you when it's a success. The most important thing is that they just love you for being you, not for any other reason. I think by doing that, 90% of your problems would be solved. Story 49. The most important thing a person can do is to cultivate meaningful relationships. Connecting deeply with others, friends, family, or community, brings joy, support, and a sense of belonging that enriches life. Nurturing these connections often leads to personal growth and fulfillment. Story 50. There is not just one. There are multiple. Be kind, it makes the world nicer. It might make someone's day. Save lives if you can, and try to make a difference in the world in whatever positive way you can. I didn't name things for myself, but the above things are also for myself. It makes me feel better, and I try to enjoy life, and that would be for myself. Others benefit from a happier me, I guess. Story 51. Fully live and enjoy that life in the way that is best for them and who they are and doesn't harm others. I don't mean short-term pleasure, but long-term enjoyment. It can include short-term pleasure, but too much chasing after short-term pleasure leads to long-term suffering, not an enjoyable life. For some people, this will include a focus on a life partner and children, on family. For some, pursuing art. Or it could be travel, enjoying your hobbies, helping others, volunteer work, building and running a business, developing good skills and contributing them to society, a simple life in a country cottage, a spiritual path, playing Dungeons and Dragons and going to conventions, cultivating strong friendships, inventing something, scientific discovery. For most people, it will be a combination of things. The point is, there is no one way for everyone. Life is to be lived, and the saddest thing is an unlived life. An unlived life is also one of the top regrets of the dying. The most important thing to do in life is to live your life, in whatever form that might take. Story 52. It is really disappointing to see that most people commenting here are both failing to see the big picture and spouting tired cliches. They are also misrepresenting mediation and mindfulness practices, which tells me that they have probably only experienced the watered-down consumer or corporate versions and have misunderstood the concepts.